In this video, we will explore one of the most transformative spiritual books ever written, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. This book is not just a collection of affirmations or positive thinking ideas. It is a guide to understanding the spiritual laws that govern our reality. Florence's central message is that life is not a random struggle. It is a game that can be mastered when you understand the rules. Most people play without knowing these rules, which is why life often feels like an endless cycle of lack, struggle, and disappointment. But when you learn these spiritual principles and live by them, life becomes harmonious, abundant, and full of peace. So let's dive deep into the 10 most profound lessons from Florence Scovel Shinn's masterpiece, lessons that have changed lives for nearly a century and can transform yours today. Lesson 1. Life is a spiritual game with rules. Florence begins with a powerful truth. Life is a game, and like every game, it has rules. These are not man-made rules. They are universal spiritual laws that operate with mathematical precision. The most fundamental of these is the law of cause and effect. What you send out returns to you. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every feeling you dwell upon becomes a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious mind. That seed grows and produces fruit in your outer world. Florence wrote, "What man images, sooner or later externalizes in his affairs. If you constantly speak lack, fear, and limitation, those conditions will appear in your life. If you fill your mind with faith, gratitude, and abundance, life will reflect that back to you." This truth is empowering because it puts the responsibility and the power in your hands. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your experience. Lesson 2. Faith is the master key. Florence called faith the master key in the game of life. Faith is not mere hope. It is an unwavering conviction that what you desire already exists and will manifest in the perfect way at the perfect time. She wrote, "Faith never fails to accomplish its object. Faith dissolves fear, and fear is the only real obstacle. When you live in faith, you stop forcing outcomes and start trusting divine order. Instead of saying, 'I hope this works out,' you affirm, 'It is already done.' You take inspired action with confidence because you know the outcome is assured." Florence encouraged her students to replace fear-based thinking with affirmations like, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right reach me now." Faith aligns you with the creative power of the universe. Without it, you cut yourself off from the flow. With it, you magnetize every good thing. Lesson 3. The power of the spoken word. One of Florence's most profound teachings is the creative power of words. She said, "A person's word is his wand." Words are not empty. They are vibrational commands to the subconscious mind. Every word you speak plants a seed that will eventually bear fruit. Many people unknowingly curse their own lives by saying things like, "I can't afford this," "I never get a break," or "nothing ever works out for me." These statements sink into the subconscious and create exactly what was spoken. Florence insisted that you speak only words that align with what you desire. Replace "I can't afford this" with "I have unlimited supply." "All that is mine by divine right comes to me now." Replace "I never get a break" with "Everything I do prospers and succeeds." One of her most famous affirmations was, "There is a supply for every demand. Speak life, and life will respond in kind." Lesson 4. Intuition is your divine compass. Florence taught that intuition is the voice of spirit within you, your divine compass guiding you toward your highest good. Logic and reason are limited. They can only analyze what is known. But intuition reveals what lies beyond logic. It often comes as a quiet nudge, a sudden idea, or an inner sense of certainty. Florence said, "Intuition is a spiritual faculty and does not explain, but simply points the way. Those who trust it find themselves in the right place at the right time, experiencing what the world calls luck, but what Florence understood as divine guidance." To develop intuition, create moments of stillness and prayer. Ask for guidance and listen. When faced with decisions, pay attention to what feels light and expansive rather than heavy and restrictive. Intuition is never anxious or fearful. It speaks with calm clarity. The more you follow it, the stronger it becomes, and the easier life flows. Lesson 5. The law of non-resistance. Another key principle Florence taught is the law of non-resistance. She often said, "What you resist persists." Resistance is a form of fear and control. When you fight against circumstances or try to force outcomes, you create tension that blocks the natural flow of good into your life. The solution is surrender, not giving up, but letting go and allowing divine wisdom to work. Florence suggested this prayer, "I do not resist this situation. I put it in the hands of infinite love and wisdom. Let the divine idea come to pass." This affirmation lifts the burden from your shoulders and hands it over to the higher power that knows all and sees all. Miracles happen when you release resistance because you stop interfering with the flow. Lesson 6. Giving opens the way to receiving. Florence taught that life operates on the law of circulation. Everything in nature moves in cycles, the tides, the seasons, even the breath in your body. When you give freely, you activate this law and open the way for blessings to return to you multiplied. But when you cling in fear, you create stagnation. Giving does not mean reckless spending, it means giving joyfully, with faith in infinite supply. Florence wrote, "Giving opens the way for receiving." This applies to love, kindness, money, and service. If you want more love, give love. If you want more abundance, give generously from what you have. Each act of giving declares, "I live in a universe of plenty." Florence encouraged affirmations such as, "I give freely and fearlessly, and it returns to me multiplied in wonderful ways." When you live this way, lack dissolves because you no longer fear running out. You know that what you send out must return. Lesson 7. Imagination shapes reality. Florence called imagination the scissors of the mind because it cuts out the picture of your future. What you vividly imagine and feel as real will eventually take form in the outer world. Modern science agrees. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and an actual experience. Florence said, "A person with an imaging faculty trained to image only good brings into his life every righteous desire of his heart." The tragedy is that most people use imagination destructively by rehearsing fears and worst-case scenarios. When you imagine failure, you are programming your subconscious to create failure. Florence taught her students to picture their desires as already fulfilled. Live mentally in the state you wish to experience. Speak as if it is already yours. When thought and feeling unite in this way, manifestation is inevitable. Lesson 8. Trust divine timing. One of the greatest sources of stress for people is impatience. Florence reassured her readers that what is yours by divine right cannot be taken from you and will come at the perfect time. Delays are not denials. They are often preparation for something greater than you imagined. She wrote, "I do not limit God by seeing limitation in myself." This means that when things seem delayed, you don't fall into despair. You affirm, "What is mine comes to me in a perfect way at the perfect time." This shifts you from anxiety to peace. It keeps you aligned with faith rather than fear. Divine timing is part of the harmony of life. When you trust it, you no longer live in constant tension. You know the universe is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. Lesson 9. Forgiveness clears the path to blessings. Florence taught that unforgiveness is one of the greatest obstacles to success and happiness. When you hold resentment, you tie yourself energetically to the very situation you want to escape. She wrote, "No man is your enemy. No man is your friend. Every man is your teacher." Life brings experiences to show us where we need to grow. Forgiveness is not about approving wrongdoing, it is about freeing yourself from the prison of bitterness. Florence gave her students this affirmation, "I forgive everyone, and everyone forgives me. The gates swing open and my good flows freely now." Forgiveness dissolves blocks instantly because it clears the channel through which blessings flow. If you have been stuck, ask yourself, who do I need to forgive? The moment you release that burden, life begins to move again. And Lesson 10, Love is the highest power. Florence ended her teachings with the greatest truth of all. Love is the ultimate force in the universe. She wrote, "Fear is the only enemy. Love is the only weapon. Love harmonizes, heals, and multiplies good." When you choose love over fear, resentment, or judgment, you align with the divine essence of life itself. Florence encouraged her students to send love even to those who had wronged them. She believed that when you radiate love, you dissolve discord and attract blessings effortlessly. Love is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. It is the energy that makes you magnetic to every good thing because it connects you with the infinite. Practice love in your thoughts, words, and actions, and watch how your life transforms. In conclusion, Florence Scovel Shinn's wisdom is timeless because it speaks to eternal truth. Life is not a battlefield. It is a spiritual game designed for your growth and fulfillment. When you live by these principles, faith, the power of the word, intuition, non-resistance, giving, imagination, forgiveness, and love, you move from struggle to flow, from limitation to abundance. The question is, how will you play the game from this moment forward? Will you live by fear or by faith? Will you fight life or trust its harmony? Remember this, what you seek is already seeking you. Align with these truths, and you will discover that the game of life was never meant to be hard. It was meant to be beautiful.